Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Heartless, and I will be playing the Rising Star Gille Trebble. I am joined by my lovely friend.
Hello. It is me, Artist of Obsessions, also known as Obby. And today I am playing my little child, Tally Mark. I will be playing Tally Mark.
So,
Sneaky child.
this is a very special FPS tonight,
Mm-hmm.
as first we come upon Toontown, and we're looking at it present day, and then we hit the rewind button, and we rewind,
Yes.
and rewind, and rewind about 7 years.
Yep, 7 whole years.
And here's where the story will take place, as the camera pans around to the back alley market. And a very certain purple devil with a red ponytail walks into it for the very first time. Breaking news, folks! The villain exchange program has been unearthed. So what's Tally doing?
Well, Tally, let me tell you about Tally in the past. This is a long time ago for Tally, when she was first getting involved with more shady stuff. And this is also before, gestures to backstory. Gestures to a very certain part of her backstory. It's before that happened. So this is actually when she was getting involved with, just stealing things for a quick buck kind of thing. Essentially, Tally in the back alley market has her services for hire to steal stuff. That's her whole purpose of being here.
Okay. So, Gil's gonna saunter into the market and take a look around, go, this place. It looks so different from Elfrake home. He's gonna glance over and see Tally and notice the sign. And he's going to walk up and place his hands down on the table and lean a little towards Tally and raise an eyebrow at her and go.
I will say, if this is like Tally's little stand, it definitely looks like a really shoddy lemonade stand kind of thing. Obviously a child made this. A child made this.
Oh. And he's gonna go, what are you doing here, kid?
Well, what's it look like I'm doing? And Tally just kind of puts her hands on her hips. She's sitting behind the stand. And I'm actually gonna post a little picture of Tally because Tally's outfit is very different than what it has been. Boop.
It's Tally.
So it's Tally. Before you, Gille Trebble, is a little monochrome toon. And I say little, and I mean little. She's so small. Yeah, she's basically half your height. And she's wearing this gray and white striped shirt and these overalls and this big backpack.
Mm-hmm. Gil's
And she's just
going.
kind of like crossing her arms, looking up at Gil.
Gil's just going to lean over and look at the sign, then look back at her and go, "You any good, kid?"
I'd say I'm pretty good. And like, she just kind of grins and puts her hands behind her head.
Oh, you see, I'm new in town because of this fancy new exchange program that I signed up for. And he gives a sly smile. How much are your rates?
Rates? Well, that honestly depends on what you're trying to go for. And Tally just kind of she kind of like hops up on the stand and sits on the edge of it with her legs dangling over the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depending on what you're trying to steal, we could work something out. I'd say I'm pretty affordable, but depending on how well we do.
Well, there's this museum that I heard about here in Giznap. Has some pretty interesting things. I believe it's called the Gallery of Curiosity.
Okay, just for fun, I'm gonna roll history to see if Tally is well acquainted with with that area. Although, considering it's a straight D20.
Tally has never heard of this museum before. To be fair, it is actually outside of Toontown.
Tally just, you get kind of like the Blake stare and the little blinks, the kind that like have little sound effects.
Gil's just gonna look at her for a second. I'm gonna roll insight to see if he can figure out what this is and what this means. Oh, yeah, that's not bad. That's 15 minus 2. That's a 13.
13.
So
Yeah. Confusion.
I'm pretty sure he knows. So he's like,
Yeah.
so you've never been outside of this little town, huh? Ugh.
Yeah. And Tally just kind of shrugs. I mean, there's plenty here for, someone like me. There's plenty to do here. Plenty of sights to see, plenty of things to, grab.
See, I'm looking for something more exciting. Something to really put me on the map. And, well, doing a federal crime while I'm not in my home country seems like the best way to do it.
Oh, so you're looking to do something big and show-offy.
Oh,
I could.
You can't be a big-time villain if you never get on the map.
Allie just nods in understanding. she's been around the back alley market for a little bit. Mm-hmm. She's seen the type.
Yeah, and he definitely dresses like it.
Yep.
There's this painting I read about. I'm very interested in it.
Mm? And Tally just kind of tilts her head slightly.
And Gille just kind of looks around and then leans in and holds up his hand and starts whispering, you see, they say that the artist, after he completed it, completely disappeared. Nobody knows what happened.
Well, that does sound interesting. So, you mentioned a museum earlier. Do you think it's there?
Yeah. I mean, where else do you keep paintings? Besides, the drawing room. He
confused look again. Tally has never heard these terms before, but you know what? It's fine.
Gille
It's
pauses
fine.
and just kind of stares blankly at her for a moment. And then he looks confused.
We've got an urchin, and we've got
A noble.
the opposite of an urchin. Yes!
And Gille's going to say, "What, have you never heard of a drawing room before?"
No? What's that? Is it like... Well, I'm assuming it's like a room you draw in, but I could be very wrong.
No, it's super fancy room to hold meetings in.
Oh, rich person stuff. Got it.
Okay. I thought that was normal, but alright.
Well, the normal stuff for me isn't exactly normal either, so... And Tally just kind of shrugs.
Gille just kind of gives a shrug. And then he puts his hands together and rubs them back and forth. So, Yin?
Like, Tally, like, gives a little thinky thunk to it for a little bit. Like, you can see, like, she puts the mitten-shaped gloves that she's wearing up to her chin, as she seems to very seriously consider this. She is obviously a very serious person here. Mm-hmm. She has to take this seriously. And eventually, she does nod and holds out one of her hands for Gille to shake. Help me in.
Gille holds out his hand to shake, and... where? Yeah, okay, I got a 2. And with his other hand, he pulls out 10 gold. Let's go with that.
10 gold.
10 gold.
10 gold. There's kind of like a little bit of definite change in Tally's attitude. There's like more of a glint in her eye as she with her other hand it takes the pouch of gold and actually swings off her backpack for a bit and slips it inside before putting it back on.
Mm. All right. You're not going in that, are you?
Well, it's kind of the only thing I got. And Tally just kind of gestures to her overalls and whatnot.
Gille just kind of reaches up and pinches his nose and goes, "All right, come on." And he kind of just forcefully takes her shoulder and starts guiding her out of the back alley market. Here we go.
There's kind of like a surprise squeak, but Tally is tagging along for the time being. She is very slightly sus, but also.
I saw a clothing store on the way here. We need to get you properly outfitted. You can't go looking like this.
What's wrong with this? Like Tally.
You don't look
Tally
the part.
Pouts. The part?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Being a villain is all about presentation. That's the most important part, because if people don't think you're a villain when you're walking down the street, they're just gonna not look at you, or they're going to look, then look away, because you're just someone in regular clothing.
Well, in my case, that's kind of the point. And Tally kind of shrugs. If people don't notice you, then you can get away with stealing a lot of sort of stuff.
Yes, but what's the point if no one credits you?
Well, you can get away with things. You can, have stuff you didn't have before without getting in trouble for it.
Oh, I do that all the time. Let me tell you, it's very boring.
Fair enough.
And this is where he guides her into the clothing store. And he briefly takes his hand away to start stalking the aisles. Let's see. Make an investigation check.
Investigation.
That's a +2. That's a 13.
13.
So I think he first pulls out something even brighter and then goes, ugh, and throws it away.
For a brief moment, there is a bright yellow.
Says, ugh, no. And just dives back into the pile, throwing out, going, no, no, no. And he pulls this outfit with a matching hat out of the pile and holds it up against Tally for a moment.
I think, like, as Gille has been looting through the clothes, Tally has in fact been looking through some of the stuff on her own. and well, she is a rogue.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll sleight of hand. 25.
She gets away with it.
Gille, there is a whole empty rack where it was not empty a little bit ago, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Gille takes a moment to go blink at the empty rack, and he kind of just looks around, like, is someone else clearing this place out? We better hurry. There's no way
that's good.
neither Gille or the proprietor even noticed who actually did that.
Tally is, as she said before, very good at this.
So Gille holds the clothings to her and goes, put these on. Gotta see them on you to see if they're good.
Oh, okay. And, like, Tally just kind of blinks and takes both the hat and the purplish yellowish dress, and she just kind of, like, shrugs off her backpack and plops it on the ground on the floor next to her feet before just slipping it on. Mm-hmm. Not even bothering to, like, even look for a changing room. Just, all right, this is mine now.
I mean,
I'm wearing this.
Gille just kind of steps in front of her so that nobody would have seen.
Yeah.
And then takes
That's fair.
Away to turn and look.
Yep. And I also drew this outfit. Because I'm very excited. Yeah.
See? Now you look like a proper villain.
Yeah, Tally is kind of, like, taking a moment and looking down at her new clothes. She hasn't had new clothes before. This is fun. This is very new and this is fun. And she kind of, like, twirls around a little bit in them and very quietly goes, yeah, I think I see the appeal.
Alright. Gille's tail flicks up and down as he turns around, and I'm gonna roll hammer space, which is a D10, not a D20. That's a 6. And Gille pulls out a checkbook.
Oh, Gille.
And he walks up to the counter, and he writes down a number and signs it in Sulfa's name. And he
Wonderful. Amazing.
And hands it to the proprietor, and then just kind of turns and slips the checkbook back into his pocket. All right. Now we're ready.
Tally just gives a thumbs up from where she was standing, and she bends down and very carefully picks up her backpack and slings it over her shoulders. And just for fun, do you want to make a perception check?
Yep, I love doing perception check with my -2.
This is just a little flavor thing. Don't worry.
You say don't worry. I rolled a 6.
Well, I mean, yeah. She puts on her backpack.
Gil sees nothing.
That's about it. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to see.
All right. Gil's going to saunter his way over to the door and open it and hold it open and watch.
I think Tally's just kind of trail after him.
After you.
Thank you. And Tally, kind of like very snoodily, for just a moment, tilts her head up slightly. She's feeling very confident in this outfit. This is very nice.
Gil, that's the ticket. And he follows her out of the door. And do you want a time skip to the gallery?
Time skip, yes. Yes. Time skip. Because otherwise we're both gonna roll terrible survival and get lost.
I'm gonna roll survival anyways to see if they actually did get lost.
You know what, yeah. Let's do that for fun. Oh no. Oh no.
I rolled a 17, so that's a 15.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Real quick, since Tally has literally grown up in Toontown, would she have advantage on, like, a roll navigating through it?
Oh yeah, well, I would say that this roll would be for her getting from Toontown to the gallery, because...
Yeah. Fair. In that case, no advantage.
Yeah.
In fact, perhaps even disadvantage.
No, just regular.
Oh, well.
So,
now what?
The good thing is that, you guys didn't get too lost. The bad thing is that Tally, you led Gil around a couple of trees, and both of you got a little lost.
It's just a little.
And as you were going, there was a glowing from under Gil's jacket, and he pulls out an amulet, and he looks at it for a second, and then looks around and goes, "Oh, you think it's that way? Yeah. Okay. Tally, that way. Let's go."
I'm actually gonna roll perception real quick to see if Tally noticed.
Did they introduce each other?
Let's say it happened off screen.
Yeah, let's say it happened off screen because I just forgot.
Because they never did.
They didn't.
I got so wrapped up in the euphoria of this game that I forgot that they didn't introduce themselves.
Okay.
That's a 7. Yeah, Tally definitely didn't hear as you were talking to surprisingly no one. Haha. And until you get her attention, then she's like, "Oh, okay." And she kind of she's a little embarrassed that she's so turned around. She's very used to knowing where she's going. This is new. This is weird.
Yeah, and they kind of get back to the road, and down the way is the a gallery of curiosity, a one-level round building. And Gil, as they start to walk down the way, he looks over at Tally and goes, "So, how do you usually start these things off?"
Well, if you want to think like a thief, you got to think about entrances that are not the obvious ones. For example, walking through the front door, too easy. They expect it. You gotta find another point of entrance, perhaps a vent or a back door. Maybe even a window, if you can climb.
I don't think I brought any climbing supplies with me. And
I mean, I could climb up there just fine.
That's
I got
fair.
some rope.
I could probably get in through the front door. Right? And Gil just kind of turns and looks partially over his shoulder at absolutely nothing. Yeah.
There's kind of it's more obvious now.
It's more obvious.
So like Tally's just kind of
in the middle
tilting your head.
Yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Gil grins widely in that, that Warner way. And he turns back and goes, "Well, you see, I have a god sitting on my shoulder."
There's kind of a ... What's a god?
Gil just pauses a half step and he stares and goes, it's someone who watches over you? Why don't you know this stuff?
I mean, Tally just shrugs. It's not exactly obvious stuff. At least not to me.
Something should be said about the education in Gisnef. Jeez. It's severely lacking.
Bold of you to assume that I've ever been to school. Tally just kind of mentions offhand as she starts walking towards the museum.
Gil just kind of goes, I've never been to school either. What does that have to do with it? Gil just kind of picks up his pace and you hear the of his jacket.
Tally pauses and looks back at Gil, and at the loud chinking of his armor.
What?
Are you planning to do this sneaky? Or are you planning to do this loud? Because if you're planning to do this sneaky, that's not gonna do well. And she points to the jacket.
Gil just kind of moves it for a bit and goes and he just kind of goes, alright. And he heads off into a direction. And then he comes back on screen without it on.
Just an off-screen change. Wonderful.
Now he doesn't have his armor on.
And Tally just casually goes, once we get back inside, you can put it back on if you want. But until we are in primal position, we should probably try to keep quiet. Stick to the shadows.
The problem with it is that once I get it off, it takes like an hour to put it back on.
Ah, well. See, I didn't know that. I don't wear armor.
I have I have other ways of drawing attention to ourselves when the time comes. But, you know, this is a villain exchange program, so I should be observing more than doing, shouldn't I?
Tally just kind of shrugs. I suppose so, yeah. Alright, let's see. And Tally kind of like taps her chin with her very long sleeves as she looks at the building. What does it like look like on the outside? What entrances does it have?
So it has the clear first double door entrance, which standing in front, you can kind of see that there's a tall tune kind of just standing there, and it's you're pretty far away. The details are kind of hard to make out, but he looks blue, and he's obviously a guard.
Cackles because I know. I know.
I think I can pull up a picture so everyone knows.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Provide the context. There he is.
He's greenish blue, and he's very tall. Somewhere, 3/4. You don't know what a Larry is, but that sounds like a really good measurement.
What's a Larry? Don't worry about it.
But anyways,
Okay.
That's the person who's standing, guarding the door, and the building curves around, so there may be another way around. But
Okay.
the only entrance you can see right now is the front door.
I think Tally's just gonna start slinking off to around the building.
Alright, we're gonna roll stealth!
We're gonna roll stealth! We're gonna roll stealth!
Thank goodness!
Tally got a 24!
And Gil got a 9.
Oh. A 9?
So, okay, let me double check, just real quick, what this character's perception is.
Yes.
To see how quickly they didn't notice Tally, and how quickly they did notice Gil trying to sneak around the building. Oh yeah, passive perception is 13. Yeah, so, Tally, easily enough, you've done this a million times. You jump into the shadows and scurry and flatten yourself against the wall.
It's very rubber hose. Very rubber hose.
And this might be where Gil fails, because Gil tries to follow you, but he can't exactly move the same way. And so the lizard man standing at the door goes, "Excuse me, sir." And Gil freezes a moment, and then slowly turns and goes, "Yes. I'm afraid we're closed." "Oh, aren't we now?" And Gil's going to take a few steps forward and cast Charm Person.
That spell. Yeah. That's a fun spell.
Yep. We're just going right for the Charm Person here. And, yep. There's the wisdom. And Eddie got a 10. That does not make it.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So Gil just kind of walks up and goes, well, you see, I am an inspector, and I've come to inspect the premises. And Eddie just kind of straightens up and goes, oh, I apologize. I didn't know you were coming. Let me let you in, sir. Careful. The museum is a little, weird today. And Eddie turns around and unlocks the door and holds it open for Gil.
I'm gonna roll perception to see if Tally even noticed. Because she's so focused on sneaking good. 13. I'd say that's enough.
Mm-hmm. It's very obvious as Gil just kind of saunters through the door and his tail is flicking back and forth because he has the world served to him on a silver platter.
Okay, well, Tally just kind of pauses because, like, I think she was, like, literally just about to start climbing up the building, but then she's like, you know what? The door's open. I'm just gonna go that way. And with the 24 stealth from before.
there's no way he's going to see a little shadow darting inside before he closes the door.
Exactly. Exactly. Gil, you're being shadowed.
Gil, for his... He doesn't know you're there because he's just gonna go, oh, there should be a map here somewhere. You're just gonna walk up to the desk and start rooting around behind it.
Yeah. When you pop back up from the desk, Tally's sitting there.
Gil starts getting frustrated because that's a 4. That's
what?
4.
Ah.
I hit a key and it kind of just made Discord smaller instead of pressing the plus button.
Oof. It made Discord do a small. Rather than the intended input.
Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Anyways, Gil, getting frustrated, pops up from the desk going, well, where did the...
Hi.
Hi.
Tally says very cheekily.
Don't sneak up on me like that. I can't find...
Well, that's kind of my job. What you looking for?
Maps. They've got to have maps around here somewhere.
Here, let me try to look.
And Tally's gonna roll investigation, which is a straight D20.
Hey.
But she got an 18, so...
I'm just gonna say, thankfully, Gil was quiet enough not to alert the guard. So, the map you find is, where's my map? Map.
Yep. Where's the map?
Looks like this. Unfortunately, I did not have time to load the names. So, let's see. Left is Hall of Phasers. You're standing in the lobby. Right.
Lobby, yes.
Is... Let me consult my notes. Right, is the cracking floor.
The cracking floor.
Middle is the hanging glass gardens. back left is the room of the parabox. Back right is under construction.
Under construction?
I couldn't think of another one, so it's under construction.
I mean, neither could I, so that's valid.
And the very back.
It's a new museum. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a relatively new museum.
They gotta earn at least a little bit before they can get the super cool stuff.
And the very back room is the series of the unexplained.
Ooh.
So
Okay.
Gille's going to take a few steps and lean over Callie's shoulder to read it. And he's going to read it out loud because he's going to assume she does not know how to read with the amount of stuff that she's filled in.
I mean, he's right. Tally at this point in time can't read. I think she just finds something that looks vaguely like a map and is like, all right, this looks like what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So he points back and forth to look like if we go right, we have to go through that hanging glass gardens because that's under construction. That means that's going to be blocked off.
Well, it could also be a good escape. I mean, construction places are very well known for, all this sort of shenanigans. Very easy to take advantage of.
Kelly just says.
Gille nods. I'm sure that the wall there is probably thin.
Oh, yeah, probably. If it's under construction, then yeah. We could probably kick it. We could probably just kick it down. Which I guess would be a very explosive exit.
Oh.
And considering you kind of want to start this whole thing off with a bang.
Oh, definitely. And Gille points a thumb behind him to the front door. That's gonna last an hour.
Okay. So we got an hour. All right. By the way, what'd you do?
And Kelly just kind of gestures towards that.
Gille's,
I thought you were gonna get caught, but
Gille's tail loops into a heart. You see, the god on my shoulder taught me a way to trick the mind into thinking that I'm a friend. Very useful.
Tally just kind of ponders before she nods.
it does sound like something I'd be good at a pinch. I mean, you did almost get caught, but now you're not caught because, well, now your guys are technically friends for an hour. But, well, then again, that's just an hour. Won't last forever. We should probably get moving. I don't know how confusing this place is on the inside. We didn't get a chance to get a look at it beforehand.
Yeah, but that's half the fun, isn't it? He did say
that's true.
It's weird. I don't know what that means.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
And Tally just kind of grins as she starts sauntering over to, I'm going to roll a d2 to see which side she goes towards. 1 for left, 2 for right. Left it is!
So,
She goes left.
Phasers.
Hall of Phasers.
So, Tally, as you enter this room, there are a couple of pedestals, and as you're looking at the items on these pedestals, they suddenly go and you see after images of the item, and then it settles again.
Tally just kind of pauses and stares, very cat-like, at these things.
Get comes up behind her and goes, what are you... Whoa.
That's weird. I'm not the only one seeing that, right?
No, I can see that too. Gille's going to walk forward and touch it.
Oh gosh.
Roll a con save.
Oh my gosh.
Gille!
Gille, I know your wisdom is low, but please.
Wisdom low. His con save is 0 right now.
Oh no, what do you mean it's 0?
That's a 7.
It's a 7! Gille!
So what happens is that Gille picks this object up, and in his hand it looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
And then it glitches, and his whole line work and form glitches, and he puts it back down like.
Whoa, okay.
And like Telly's starting to hurry over and be like, okay, that's wrong. Okay.
Does it hurt?
What'd you say?
It hurts. Gille says, it's supposed to not be You're supposed to...
I cannot understand. I don't know what's happening.
You're not supposed to.
Okay, well then,
Is he still touching the thing?
Nope, but he's still, like, jittering every so often and glitching. And each time he talks, it sounds like, there's another him trying to talk at the same time.
Oh, good golly, that's weird. That's weird. Tally does not like this. Yeah, she's gonna gently move Gille away from the glitchy things.
It's fine.
Okay.
Fine.
rule number 1 of thievery. If you don't know what a thing does, don't touch it.
But how else do you find out?
I mean, fair, but also there could be other ways of it. Like, something that says it. Well, I can't read, but...
And she is there like plaques? Is there like plaques and stuff to read like around the museum?
Oh yeah,
for what these things are? Yeah. Tally takes one look at it and gestures at it with a long sleeve to Gille.
Gille's gonna look over at it for a moment, jitters, and he's gonna reach up and smack himself in the face. Okay. So don't touch those.
Well, that's a no-brainer right there.
Apparently they're weird. Well,
Yeah.
I guess we know what he meant by weird now.
Yeah. This.
Telly pointedly glares at the glitchy things and is starting to move to the next room. Just like the little "I'm suspicious of you" squint as she backs up.
Mm-hmm. Gille just kind of looks at it again and goes, and then follows her into the next room, which, curiously, this room has a single pedestal with a box on it.
I think, Tally, following her own advice from the last room, is immediately starting to look for, information.
Yep, there's a plaque, right underneath it.
Tally just, kind of motions for Gille.
Gille's gonna come over and lean down and It says, look in the box and you'll be surprised what you'll see.
Well, that's not helpful.
I'm gonna look in the box. Gille says.
Hold on, I'm gonna do a whiz save. I'm gonna do a whiz save real fast. Oh, hold on, give me a sec.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a pause here. So let us run through a few ads. The Villain Exchange Program. Don't know what you're doing in villainy? Well, why don't you take your act on the road? Exchange information with a villain from a different country. And, well, exchange places. Your nemesis will sure be confused. Join the Villain Exchange Program today.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Okay. Tally got a 10 on that whiz save.
Is she gonna look
Which
in the
means
box?
she has been overwhelmed by that little competitive kid urge. And Tally's not tall enough to reach the box, so please imagine she's like, okay, not if I open it up first, and then climbs up Gille to open it.
Gille kind of growls, and you look in it, and inside, it's the room you're standing in. And then there's a little you, standing on top of a little Gille, and she's looking into the box. And then you see into the box, and there's another room with another little miniature you, and she's looking into the box. Wisdom save, please.
Oh gosh. That's a 6.
You are mesmerized by this vision of you looking into a box, of you looking into a box, of you looking into a box. Gille just goes, get off me! And he just kind of pulls you away. Kind of,
For a fun little flavor thing, Gille, you definitely see Tally has the silly eyes. Like, her pupils have gotten big.
And he just kind of annoyedly reaches up and takes you off of his, I suppose, shoulders or horns, and just unceremoniously drops you to the floor.
Because Tally's no longer looking at it. Is she freed?
Roll a wisdom save with advantage.
Oh, good golly.
Advantage.
Oh no. Advantage, please.
Okay.
17.
That does it.
Okay.
So these visions clear up from your eyes, and now all you see is Gille Trebble with a very annoyed look on his face, with his arms crossed. He's like, "What's your problem?"
What?
And like, Tally kind of shakes her head.
You don't just crawl up on someone like that.
Well, sorry.
If you wanted to look in the box, you should have just asked me, he said as he starts stalking towards the other room. He doesn't even want to look in the box anymore. He's just mad.
Aw. Tally just kind of rolls her eyes. Grumpy. Gille's grumpy.
Yeah, he's grumpy.
Grimp.
Grump.
Okay.
So, you guys reach the back room. And through the back room are a number of there are paintings. There's a mirror on the wall, and right in the middle of the back wall is a painting lit up by a light.
Well, considering it's the only thing in the room with a spotlight on it, and in a very cartoonish fashion, you can probably assume that this is what they're going for.
Oh, yes. But there's also a mirror on the wall.
There's also a mirror.
Yeah. And you know what
Well,
Gille's going to do?
Oh, Gille. Oh, Gille.
He walks into the room and he spots the mirror and he walks up to it and starts like straightening himself out, brushing himself off. And then he notices something peculiar about the mirror.
What, pray tell, is the peculiar thing about the mirror?
Well, as he's looking at it, my eye's not supposed to be up there. And my mouth's not supposed to be there. And he kind of pulls himself away from it as his face starts going Picasso, and he turns away and starts rearranging his face back into its proper place, because he rolled a 15 and passed.
Great. Wonderful. Tally was just kind of watching.
Jeez, this place is weird.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. If everything we've come across so far does stuff, we probably want to handle the painting with something protective, considering.
Gille nods and starts pushing his hands into his pockets as he roots around for scroll case, some gloves.
Mm-hmm. Tally just nonchalantly shrugs off her backpack and holds it up as a, hey, this is something we can hold it with once we get it.
Mm-hmm. So, I accidentally rolled a d20, but I'm just gonna say that that's a fumble. And Gille, instead of pulling out what he was going in for, pulls out a fox costume. That's not... It's not time for that. It's a costume. He says, waving the floppy costume around.
For disguises, I'm assuming?
Yes, of course. I don't leave
Nice.
home without at least 3 disguises.
That's an impressive amount, actually. I only got a couple, but I am. Although, seeing as we did stop at the clothing store, I have a couple more options at my disposal.
Gille just blink. Oh, that was you!
That was me. I told you I'm good at what I do.
Nice. Gille puts the costume back, and I'm gonna actually roll a d10 this time.
Roll a
And
d10.
I rolled a 1.
Oh no.
Welcome to fumble territory, everybody. Let's see. What
It's fumble time. It's not a Gille game if there isn't at least 3 fumbles.
Yeah. This time he pulls out slightly sticky decorative cobwebs. And he starts rubbing them. Ah, dang it. He starts shaking his hand out. Get off.
Want some help with that? Or
No. Sake of hump, this isn't funny.
Like, Tally's just kind of giggling off on the side.
You hear a come from somewhere as Gille pulls out a broken mirror.
Tally actually kind of jumps at the voice and kind of like looks around.
hello?
Sigh. Come on, stop messing with me, please. And Gille finally pulls out a pair of gloves.
Uh,
One more roll. And
Oh,
he
gosh.
pulls out the scroll case and goes,
okay.
Okay. Haha, very funny. You're very funny when you do that. Gille just kind of very slowly puts the gloves on, and he hands the scroll case to Tally.
Tally takes it with all the importance of a small child given a very important task.
And Gille's going to slowly walk up to the painting, and I'm not going to make a roll for this, because I assume he's done this at least once before, and he knows what to do.
At least once, yeah.
It is a painting.
It is a painting.
So he unlatches the frame and carefully slides the painting out.
Yee.
And he kind of half talks over his shoulder to Tally. So, you don't know anything about gods.
Not really. I mean, again, what's a god? Don't really know.
I feel like it'd be too complicated to explain, especially while I'm doing this, he says as he was rolling it up very carefully.
Well, I can always figure out later.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure you have all the time in the world.
Well, considering I don't have school or anything like that, I have plenty of time.
And Gille turns around with it all rolled up and holds one of the ends towards Tally.
And Tally very carefully helps with it and to put it in the little what was it called again? My brain died. Scroll case. Thank you. Yes, putting the painting in the scroll case. Yes.
And it fits. The scroll case is long enough for the painting because Toon logic.
Don't worry about it. There's a little bit of Toonish shoving something far too big in something far too small.
Yes. Good in there. All right.
Yeah.
Gille
And
screws it on. Okay. Now to getting out.
first, and Tally gestures towards where the painting was.
Calling card.
Right. And
Every
Gille,
villain has one.
you know, I've been working on mine. I was thinking maybe my name and my initial. Well, initials. And Gille's going
Tally nods.
to let's see. I'm gonna roll a d10 as he pulls something out of his pocket, and it's a 10.
Oh boy.
What he pulls out of his pocket is a very orange can of paint.
Yes.
And
Yes.
he takes the paintbrush that comes out with it and loosely writes Gille T.C.
Yes. Good.
Gille
Good.
C. I'm guilty,
Wonderful.
see?
Oh my gosh. That's so good. Art, that's so good. Okay. While Gil's doing that, I'm actually gonna roll hammer space real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, that was almost a fail, but it wasn't quite. Tally also pulls out like a little bit of paint this one's purple.
Mm-hmm.
And she just very unceremoniously dips her gloved hand into it and then slaps it against the wall, leaving like a very mitten handprint.
Gil just kind of looks down as he's doing the fancy C and goes. And then he takes the paint can and the paintbrush and puts it back into his pocket. Somehow, you actually watch him stretch his pocket from his pants to put it back in.
Yeah. Talia just kind of snickers and takes off her new hat and just drops the paint can in there.
Mm-hmm.
And puts it back on before taking the scroll case and taking off her backpack and putting it in there. Because this is something she's not going to leave up to Hammer Space if they need to grab.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And do you want to make a perception check real quick? Just for fun. Once again.
Oh,
just
yes.
for flavor.
Yes. Come on, Gil, see something. You nitwit. No. 9 minus 2.
I will give you advantage
Okay.
as a treat.
I will roll a different die. 13 minus 2. That's 11.
I will say you do notice it a little bit. As Tally is tucking the scroll case into her bag, you hear kind of like a clanking sound, like wood hitting against wood, as she slips it in, then closes her backpack and slings it over her shoulder.
So, what do you got in there, kid? Sounds kind of loud.
Oh, just a friend.
Gil just kind of pulls up the amulet he was holding earlier and puts it into his palm and says, "Oh, this is my friend." And
like Tally just kind of tilts her head and like you can see like she's kind of grinning now because this is good.
And as she's staring at it, the pumpkin winks at her.
Tally kind of jumps again because okay, there are so many things today that are very weird. There are so many things.
All right, so a big exit.
Something big, something noticeable, something that could get you on the headlines.
Oh, yes. Let's go check out that construction area.
Tally just gives a playful little salute and she starts sauntering her way over towards that room.
The room is blocked off by a blue and red kind of tarp.
I'm gonna roll Hammer Space again. That's an 8. Tally just pulls out like a little dagger and just starts cutting her way through. Just nonchalantly.
Make me a perception check.
Oh boy, perception. Boop. 13.
As you're cutting through, there's this staticky sound on the other side of the tarp that you didn't notice before.
Oh no.
And as you cut further, you start to see through the cut all these different colors. Red and blue and green. And they're all kind of assaulting your senses. They're too bright.
I don't know what this is, and I'm filled with fear. I roll insight?
Sure.
I'm rolling insight to see if Tally can figure out if this is a bad idea or not. That's an 8.
So,
Well, with an 8.
it's an 8. You don't know.
Yeah.
Seems kind of weird in there, though.
Tally's just gonna keep going then.
Does Tally walk in to the static?
Tally, do you walk in the static? You know, I've built up Tally to be much more competent than she was. But I'm gonna be honest, Tally's a kid. She's gonna walk into the static.
Okay. As she walks in, she encounters this tentacle being, and she looks up, and she looks up, and she looks up, and what she's seeing is not something she can comprehend.
Hello?
It slowly turns around with noises.
Tally is backing up slowly.
Coming back later.
Tally is backing up, and she's leaving the way she came.
Gille pops his head through and goes, ow, and pops his head back out again.
Tally just, I'm gonna roll hyperspace. Yeah, she just goes back through the tarp, pulls out some duct tape, and tapes it back up several times over. Okay, we're not going that way.
Yeah, that didn't seem like a good way to go. Okay.
Ugh.
Gille turns to the only other door in the room and goes, Hanging Glass Gardens. Let's go through there.
Hanging Glass Gardens. Let's go. Yeah.
And Tally is more than happy to leave that area. Nope.
So, as you walk into the Hanging Glass Gardens, there are glass flowers hanging and also seeming to grow up from the ground. And there are multiple different types here. There seems to be some that look like a large fern with branches like those of a quince emerging from between the fern-like fronds. And as you walk by it, you seem to feel like there's wind, and your hair picks up a little bit, and Gille's hair just kind of flies to the side, and he goes, "Where's that wind? It smells like lilacs."
Tally is just kind of tense. She's like,
Okay, we know that this museum is filled with weird things. This is probably just another one of the weird things.
she says, gesturing to the whole room. And then she kind of pauses. And then she starts looking around the room again.
There's definitely more to see. So, placed strategically around the room, there seems to be glass flowers that seem to emit light. And the blossom kind of looks like a flame, and it shifts back and forth slowly, almost in a liquid dance.
Oh, that's pretty. Tally's eyes are kind of doing the silly eyes thing again.
Let me finish. There's two more.
Yeah.
There's across the room, near the other door in here, there's a lotus flower that seems to be floating in like a pitcher of water, and it looks like a golden water lily, and it's the size of a sunflower. It looks very
Oh, that's big.
soothing.
Hmm.
And the last one, it seems to be encased in glass, and it's swinging back and forth, going I, as its needle. It's a thorny plant with a kind of large needle-like maw that keeps opening and closing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, this seems
Allie's kind of doing a
nice.
think.
What seems nice?
And like Tally kind of like looks at Gil.
Oh, it's like a garden.
Yeah. Although that one there, and like Tally points at the needle thing that's going nang 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 nang.
That's interesting.
That thing looks hungry.
It does look hungry. I don't have any meat though. Just candy. Well, that seems to be the only door out, he says, gesturing towards the door by the water pitcher.
Yeah. Let's just Well, we want to leave somehow, like with flair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe we could?
Like she kind of like gestures towards like the stuff around here again.
Do you think it would be flary to do stuff from the museum itself? Take advantage of some things?
Oh, yes. He's going to reach into his, this is a intentional fumble roll, reach into his hammer space.
Oh boy.
That's 11.
Here we go.
He pulls out the decorative cobwebs again and goes, "Get off this! No!"
What you looking for?
Oh, I have. Sometimes I pull out. He pulls out a glass rose in a see-through case. Not that, but thematic, I suppose. Sometimes, and he puts it back in. Sometimes I pull out a lit stick of dynamite when I don't quite get what I'm getting for.
Tally just has an expression of ah.
Well, we want an explosive exit.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He pulls out a bag of spiders and he goes, I was wondering where those went. They're plastic but realistic looking spiders. And he just kind of sets it aside and goes in his pockets again.
A lot of these things look good for pranks.
And this time, he pulls out a jack-o'-lantern. He goes...
I just had an idea.
Oh?
I don't know if it's possible, though.
What's your idea?
Can Tally reach into Gil's hammer space and try to help? Speed
Yes.
things along?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Tally's just kind of sighs, and then Gil, you feel her starting to rummage through your other pocket.
Hey!
And I'm gonna roll the fumble. That's an 8.
Okay, so let's see. Tally pulls out a limited edition mug for Brokebeak Mountain, and Gil immediately takes it from her and goes, "Don't touch that!" And goes,
Well,
puts it
I'm just trying to hurry things along because it's taking a little bit.
And Tally's gonna reach back in again.
He pulls out an anvil this time and drops it on his foot and goes, "Damn it!
You alright?
No, sometimes that happens." and pull out an anvil. Now it's on my foot. Let's see. Tally, you pull out a self-destruct button with hanging frayed wires. 2.
Tally just kind of shoves that back, and I think I'm gonna roll strength to see if Tally can help get the anvil off of Gille's foot.
Roll it at advantage because Gille's helping you.
Okay, great. 14. Even with her -2.
You just very slowly lift it up, and Gille quickly pulls his foot out from underneath it. It goes boom on the ground again.
Yeah. Well, they don't need to be stealthy anymore, so.
No.
In fact, maybe the more noise, the better.
18. What's 18? A giant red rubber hammer? Gille pulls out this giant red rubber hammer and he violently throws it, and it actually crashes through the glass case, releasing the bomb.
Okay, that's not good.
Tally says, pulling out the 8 again.
Gosh dang it, not the mic. Okay, we're putting that
back.
You guys do hear a creaking sound from the other side of the wall and a hello? Is everything alright in here? A ticking crocodile.
Oh my gosh.
What Gille pulls out, Tally pulls out a broken mirror. What Gille pulls out is an alarm clock, which is shaped like a crocodile, with a clock in its mouth. It goes tick, 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 and Gille just kind of tosses it aside like, and it goes ning as it goes off.
Tally just is. Can we just say that they keep doing this until they finally get the dynamite?
Yes.
Because this is taking a while.
So, let's say, take 4 more tries at it.
Yeah, 4.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, which means Tally pulls out the dynamite and Gille goes, throws it! He says, immediately!
Okay! Tally just kind of like fumbles with it for a second before tossing it across the room towards one of the walls.
And that's 3d6. Come on, d6. Yeah, I'm gonna say that 5 takes down the wall.
There's just a boom,
and the wall comes crumbling down, and it reveals the poor night security guard standing there in the doorway with a very confused look on his face. And Gille pauses for a moment because he didn't expect the dynamite to be that strong before he rushes forward and goes, I'm Gille Trebble, and this is my exit. Come on! And he just runs. He grabs Tally and he casts Expeditious Retreat.
Yep. Tally just kind of like gives like a little salute goodbye to the lizard person.
And what happens as that happens is that Eddie blinks and then shakes his head because Expeditious Retreat is a concentration spell, and so is Charm Person.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, and he mutters under his breath and Grolix, and immediately runs for the phone.
Yes, good, wonderful.
But unfortunately, Gille is very good at getting lost. So there's no way the police are going to find them.
They can't find them because they're both lost themselves. Wonderful. Oh, that's perfect.
Although, the thing is I rolled survival, that's a 14.
That's a 14. Oh gosh. That's actually pretty good. Let's see. Tally, what are you gonna roll? Oh, that's net 20.
So, I imagine Gille navigates back the way they came through the forest, and then Tally takes over because Toontown is Tally's stomping ground.
Yee. Once they get into Toontown, that is where Tally excels. She doesn't actually go through the streets. She kind of just immediately leads Gille from the normal up ground and starts leading through the subway system.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows it impressively well for someone who can't read.
Spend a lot of time down here, huh?
Mm-hmm. I usually hang around the subways. A lot of people, a lot of places to navigate. There's a whole lot of abandoned tunnels.
Ooh. Do you think any of them are
Yeah.
haunted?
I don't know about haunted, but they are very nice places to hide. You know, it could probably make a really good lair.
Oh, if I'm ever out this way again, I'll think about it. Unfortunately, I think let's see, that blue-haired Toon that I almost ran over, I think he's my nemesis. He showed up twice. Stop my schemes. He's probably really confused right now, having to deal with whoever I exchanged from here.
Well, I certainly hope that whatever's happening, it is, well, maybe not fun for him, maybe fun for the other person. Who knows? Just as long as they're having a blast. Maybe in the more literal term.
Hey, so, if I'm ever in town, I'll look you up. This was fun.
Oh, this was lots of fun. And Tally just kind of claps her hands before she shrugs off her backpack again and takes out the little scroll case and holds it out to Gille.
Gille takes it and slips it into his pocket. And I'm gonna see if he's gonna do this because he wants to roll sleight of hand. No, you see him very obviously slip more gold into your hand in exchange. That's 10 more gold.
10 more gold, nice. Tally kind of like takes the new gold pieces and kind of holds them in her hand. And
quick tip, misdirection is your best friend when it comes to this sort of thing. You gotta make them look the other way.
He just kind of snaps his fingers. I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
That's alright. It takes a little bit of practice. And soon enough, you'll be able to be maybe half as good as me.
And Tally just kind of grins.
I am going to be the best villain you've ever seen. And he taps the side of his nose. Look out in the newspapers. I'm sure they'll print my picture. And he
I'll keep my eyes out.
Turns around and probably gets lost getting out of the subway.
Take the other right! Tally kind of calls after him.
Oh, right. And he turns around. It's the opposite direction of where he was heading.
Yeah. Tally just kind of snickers and watches him go off for a bit before she herself slinks off into the subway.
And that
Yeah.
concludes our longer than average special.
Yeah, that ran a little bit long, but that was very fun.
Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.